When learning about the coordinate plane, we first have to explore number lines. So let's think back about our temperature scale, where we know we start at 0, move up 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth up the number line. But when we're getting negative, going below 0, we look at that as -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So as we are going from 0, we keep counting negative by 1 unit. The same things happen in a horizontal number line. We'll start at 0, we'll go 1 unit forward, 2 units forward, 3, 4, 5. And then when we go negative from 0, the first unit to the left is a -1, then a -2, then a -3, and a -4. So I often call this horizontal, moving from left to right. And I call our vertical shift moving up or down. When you put these together, you'll make a coordinate grid. It's time to label the coordinate plane. First, we want to note that this is our x-axis and our y-axis. But everything starts at the origin, which is point 0, 0, or where our x-axis and y-axis intersect. So let's first label our x-axis, because we normally do things first x, then y. So my x-axis, I would label starting at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. But then going negative, I recognize from 0, 1 unit to the left is a -1, then a -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, and I could keep getting more negative. Now I want to label my vertical axis, my y-axis. So I still have 0 as a point. I don't need to relabel it, but I'm just going to show you in blue that I'm still looking at my y-axis starting at 0. As I go up, I'm going to say from 0, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units up. And if this was larger, I could keep extending from that 5. And then moving down on my y-axis from 0, my first unit down would be a -1, then a -2, -3, -4, -5, and I could keep extending that. So it's important just to label your coordinate plane. All things start at the origin. So remember, our origin here is the point 0, 0. Notice when I label a point, I'm labeling it starting with a parentheses, and then I have an x value and a y value separated by a comma, and again with a parentheses. So if I wanted to look at the point 3, -2, all things start at the origin. First, remember my x and y. 3 is my x-axis, so I'm looking at a left to right movement, and -2 is my y-axis, my y point, so I'm looking at an up and down movement. So 3, how many units to the left or right am I going 3? Well, I would be going right 3 units because that's positive 3. So I'd be going 1, 2, 3 units to the right. But then when I look at -2, I think negative, up and down. Which way is negative? Well, that's going down. So then I'm going to go down 2 units. So I left off right here, and now I'm going down 1, 2 units. And that would be my point 3, -2. if I labeled my axes here, I can also see that 3, well, if I take this point and I kind of draw a little line, oh, I see that it lines up with the 3 on the x-axis. And I can make my little dashed line over and see, oh, this -2 lines up with the -2 on the y-axis. So it should also line up when you are plotting a point. So always remember, first you're going to go x's. You're going to look left to right. Then you're going to do your y-axis. Y-axis is up and down. So when finding a point, x comma y, you go left and right, then up and down. So let's look at some points, shall we? Let's say I'm looking at the point -2, -5. Well, first I'm thinking left to right. Everything starts at the origin. I'm going to go -2. -2 would bring me left. It'd bring me left 2 units. So I know that this is where -2 is. But now I need to figure out the -5 part. And for that, I'm thinking up and down. Well, a -5 means go down, right, into the negatives. And so I could help myself by labeling my axis, or I could also count from here, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. And there's -2, -5. Let's look at another point. Let's say I choose the point -3, 2. Well, -3, 2, again, all things start at the origin. A -3 would say go left, right? Go backwards into the negatives. So here I am at the -3. 2. Well, wait, 2 is positive. So I'm going towards the positive side of the y-axis. I'm going up 2 units. And there I am at -3, 2. So something to note here is that going to the right means going positive. Going up also is positive. Going to the left means going negative, and going down is negative. So it's important to note that moving this way is positive and moving up is positive. Moving to the left is negative, that's a negative sign, and moving down is negative. So now when I move to graphing points, I think, okay, well, here's my x-axis and my y-axis. I'm going to remember that this is the positive side, going to the right. I'm going to remember that this is the negative side, going to the left. In the y-axis, I'm going to remember that going up is positive, and going down is negative. This will really help me as I think about plotting points now. And then the big thing is, again, all things start at the origin. Really critical to remember that origin, that 0, 0 point. So now, given the point, and remember I'm going to do a parentheses, x comma y, x meaning what's my x value, comma y. I remember that I'm going to choose the point for -2. Well, for -2 says first go positive 4 units from the origin. So here I'm at the origin, I'm going +4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to go down 2. Well, down is negative, right? And negative 2 or down 2. So from where I left off, I'm going to count down 2. And there's my point for negative 2. Let's do another one. Let's say I have the point of negative 5, negative 1. Well, all things start at the origin. A negative 5 means go left, go backwards. And a negative 1 means go down from there. So first, negative 5. Starting at the origin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then down 1. There's down 1. And again, I could have all of these labeled. I could label my x-axis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Ooh, that negative 5 matches up. From starting at 0, going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and going down, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. That also will help me if I'm given the point negative 2, 4. Well, negative 2 says go left, negative 2 on the x-axis, or look for that negative 2. 4 says go up 4 on the y-axis, and look at that 4. And what I could do is kind of draw lines and see where did that negative 2 on the x and positive 4 on the y match up, and that is my point. Negative 2, 4. So now we're graphing points that are on the x-axis and y-axis. Well, what does that mean? Well, we're still going to label our x and our y-axis. And then when we're given a point, let's say I'm given the point 3, 0. I'm still going to think x. It goes x comma y. 3, 0. Well, x's say go left or right first. So I'm going to go 3 units to the right because it's positive. 1, 2, 3. And then my 0 says, well, how many up or down do I go? Right? The next one, I'm looking at my y-axis, up or down. Well, it tells me don't move anywhere. It says 0. Don't go up, don't go down. So that means this point here is 3, 0. It's on the x-axis because I haven't moved up or down at all. Let's look at another one. Let's look at another point. Let's say I am looking at the point 0, negative 4. 0, negative 4. Well, 0, again, the first one tells me left or right, but it's 0. That's saying don't move anywhere. Stay right here. Start at the origin and don't move any left or right. Then negative 4. Well, that tells me am I going up or down? And a negative would mean I'm going down 4 units. So I haven't moved over left or right. Now I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4 units. And that's where 0, negative 4 is. So graphing on the x and y, you still look at that x. Am I going left or right? And then the y value. That y value, am I going up or down? And you'll still be able to graph, even if it's points that are on these x or y axes. You can do it.